just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without the stop. Please watch the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good evening, everyone. It's the history show tonight. Anthony and myself, and there's Anthony right away.
Good evening, one and all. Good evening, Frank. Feels like years. I know it's only days, but it feels like years. I've gone to time at the moment, or days.
Exactly, and that's the way it is, unfortunately, with football and everything. And I was watching the game, I was on the watch along and everything, and I'm so fed up with it. It's really affecting us. It's affecting us.
It is
the
a black
actual game, and a certain manager, coach, he's affected everybody. And people don't realise it. I'm talking about the hierarchy at Liverpool Football Club. But anyway, that's that. And so I'm just made up to be doing some history and, talking about good people who put the words in the wonderful books that we read. Which applies today, Anthony.
It absolutely does, Frank. And we're reminded of that every single day, And today's society is not afraid of nicking what has been already stated by these greats before. But sometimes you got to let that go and think of it's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Shakespeare is probably the most quoted person on the planet, isn't he? Bar none today.
Bar none today, exactly. And, when you think about what he's been saying hundreds of years ago, during the 1500s and 1600s, and everything applies to today. And when you think about it, it's incredible. Let's see what our people have been saying. Gary Rigby. Evening, Frank, Anthony, and chat. Evening, Gary.
Good evening, Gary. Hope you're good.
And the Pride of Merseyside. Frank, you won't like the news. What news? What news is that, Pride? You'll have to let me know. And Owen Lee. Evening, everyone. Evening, Owen.
Good evening, Owen.
So you'll have to let me know, Pride, what it is. What's the news? What's the news now? It's not that Slot's going to get us a 10-year contract, is it?
Or a knighthood.
Try and let me know. Try and let me know what he says. Is he staying or Donna? Donna, I've just seen your message. I will answer you. She says, good evening, Frank and Anthony. Good evening, lovely people.
Good evening, Donna. Hope you're well.
And Johan says, good evening, Frank, international artist, Mr. Brown, and legend. Smash the likes on the way in. And the Pride says, apparently he's staying no matter what the circumstances.
Right.
Take no notice of that, Pride. Take no notice of that. And before I carry on, it's great to see Johan with us. It's great to see Gary with us. It's great to see everybody with us.
Owen.
And I just want to thank these wonderful people. Gap Painting Services, who is the sponsors of all the pods, and they're a wonderful company. They're a wonderful firm to be involved in. I mean, getting them out. If you're an NHS worker, if you're an elderly person on your own, or even an elderly couple on your own, and you want some decorating done, you get a special discount. That's the NHS workers and elderly. Special discount you get. And just get them in. Don't struggle. Please do not struggle with your paintwork or your wallpaper, whatever you need to. And if you don't fit into the categories of NHS or elderly, just get them in to give you the price without any obligations whatsoever. And that's Gap Painting Services, the sponsors of all the pod. Every pod do. And Gary says, what's the subject tonight, Frank? Is it local history? Yes, it's everything. Everything's, yeah, it says local stuff, to be honest. That's what it's all about. It's a massive change from what I was doing last night. But, you know, international will come into it as well. And we'll also be bringing in the great writers, the great literature writers who was actually saying things back then that applies to today, which is incredible. So that's what that'll be the subject tonight. We just go off on a tangent, even when people ask, you know, certain questions. And little Linda says, even in Frank and Anthony.
Good evening, Linda.
Good evening, Linda. And Tuscar, want to say to Franco Anthony Chatters, dear God, I hope Slot isn't staying. I don't think he will. No, I think it's a load of hype. He's lost the dressing room. He's absolutely useless. The fans, look, you know, the hierarchy, they'll be like, the fans won't go. There's lots of fans who are not going. They've said they're not going. Watching Liverpool. They're not going. If it carries on. Polo. Hi, Frank and Anthony. Hiya, Polo.
Hiya, Polo.
And Toscana says, I'm not sure I could cope if Baldy is staying, but nothing would surprise me with the clowns in charge. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen.
This is the global problem, is acceptance.
Yeah.
And whether it's political, and we know of one clown in particular, what's going to uproot him. You would like to think that it was the power of the uniform voice, the fan base, says enough is enough. But as we know, there's many people on any subject who say, you know, I just don't feel comfortable saying anything, so I won't say anything. Unless we say something, things won't change, will they?
No. As you said about being global, you know, there's everybody who's against this man. And, excuse me, and they can't, like, just ignore the fans, because it's the fans who go to the game. It's the fans
There's
who
a-
voice their opinion, and they
yeah,
can't keep a fella in because they're the mates. If he's doing a bad, he should have been sacked a long ago. But that's football anyway. I don't. I want to get away from that. Honest to God, I'm
that's
very
unfortunate. Every topic, isn't it? Every topic,
every topic.
unless you raise your voice and say
Yeah,
out, don't want
absolutely.
don't want him or her or
No,
this,
no, you're right.
and that's historically as well. I mean, the French Revolution didn't start from a fight in the pub.
No,
You know, it took a long, long time.
absolutely. It did indeed. And Gary says, I'm going to Reykjavik on Sunday, and it's -5 with snow, and it's costing me a fortune. Something about Liverpool Airport really got to me. They need to pull their finger out. Very poor service.
Wow. I, I'm not the most travelled guy. Certainly not past few years, Gary. But I always thought that Liverpool, um, to my kind of discomfort, Liverpool Airport were winning all sorts of awards, but it was never mentioned on the local news
No,
channels, either side, BBC or ITV, and Manchester would always get the glory, whatever the glory may be. No, so I'm sorry to hear that.
it is. It's shocking. It is. It's shocking.
Because when Frank and I go to Italy, we want to walk out of Frank's door, get a bag of crisps and a bottle of grouse, get on a plane, and we're there.
Absolutely. Well, that's it. 2 hours, 2.5 hours at the least.
Yeah,
Know what I mean? That's what it is. It's like going on a coach to an away game.
yeah,
2.5 hours. But where we're going, we just be in the hotel
yeah.
with the bottle of grouse hasn't been finished yet.
So you go.
And Polo says, which great and thinkers, great thinkers and writers visited Liverpool? Did Oscar Wilde, Yeats, Shakespeare, Orwell? Do you know Frank? Well, Oscar Wilde did. He was in a. He was actually in a. He was getting sued, and he was in Liverpool. He came up to Liverpool, and he actually gave a couple of talks in the concert room. Oscar Wilde. What happened to Oscar Wilde? Now, don't forget, he was an Irishman, Dublin.
Yes.
He was from Dublin, and one of the great thinkers, one of the greatest of all. He had a go at people. He hated the hunt, for example. Going, with these hounds and going after foxes, because he loved animals. And he said, why this blood spot? And he said, and it's a great quote actually about these particular hunters, the hunt, as he called them. He said, the unspeakable in pursuit of the uneatable. Because a fox is uneatable, isn't it?
Yes.
So the unspeakable in pursuit of the uneatable. That's some quote there about blood sports.
It is. He was a most remarkable man, gentleman. And when to answer that question, I guess, and I'm asking you as well as the team, there must have been a tremendous amount of people, writers, poets, musicians, who used Liverpool as a base to travel on to wherever they were going, America, on tour, Australia, wherever they were going. Like Dickens loved Liverpool. He loved the Adelphi Hotel. That
He
was,
loved the Dickens, yeah.
yeah.
I've
And he,
shown it. Go on.
he can't have been the only one, can he, Frank?
No. Dickens loved Liverpool, as you said about the old Adelphi Hotel, the original Adelphi Hotel. He said it was the finest in the world. And on one of my DVDs, I think I've stood there and I've said, the great Dickens has stood right where I am, giving his penny speeches.
Yeah,
Cost a penny to go in, and it was always chock a block.
yeah,
Gave these speeches. So Dickens loved Liverpool. I've got a cracking book.
yeah.
I think I get I don't know what they had. Is that it there? No?
And then you have other notable greats who equally love Liverpool. People like, uh, yeah, brilliant.
The when you say like the uncommercial traveller, he gives you everything in this. Gives you where he's been, but he loved Liverpool. He really did.
Yeah, then you have the likes of William Morris, who loved Liverpool and the surrounding areas and became the voice of socialism. And indeed, there's still a bookshop in Liverpool named after his work. And you have Robert Tressel, who wrote one of the greatest books, is the Ragged Trousers Philanthropist. I could not say that after the bottle of gross.
Well, he's buried here, isn't he, Tressel?
Yes, because he took ill here.
Yeah,
He was due to go to America for the tour, and he took ill and died. And he buried him. I think originally he was buried in an unmarked grave in
yeah.
Rice Lane, Walton, Rice Lane Cemetery, and obviously it took a while for word to filter out. But that's the way of our notable heroes. William Blake was buried in a fairly nondescript, unmarked grave until his wife had friends pleaded with him to be moved. And then sadly she passed away 3 years after him. So now the world knows where they are.
Well, yeah. I was just.
And it's the same thing now, isn't it? If you call the odds against the establishment or the people in power, you call them out, then they're not immediately going to give you any recognition. In fact, they'll go totally the opposite. Still applies now, today, as it did in their time. And it's a fan base. It's a we talked often about your immensely powerful readings of Wilfred Owen. These are all people that were discarded by establishment until
Yeah,
it took
absolutely.
20
You
years.
know, so it's amazing he came to Liverpool, and he asked if the likes of Eric Blair came to Liverpool.
Yes.
Oh well,
Yeah.
yeah, of course he came to Liverpool. They all came to Liverpool, even if they were going to America. That's one of the reasons that Tressel was here. As
Yeah.
Anthony said, when he took ill, unfortunately. One of the greatest people that we've all heard of is Stanley. Stanley, was in Liverpool. He came here. He was living in Liverpool. and Mr. Dr. Livingstone, I presume. You know, that's Stanley.
Yeah, the Explorer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Explorer.
Is it? Yeah.
And Gary says, if I fly from Liverpool, I have to change twice in Dublin and London. That's ridiculous. The only direct flight is from Manchester. Excuse me. I don't think they want people flying from Liverpool.
What's going on? So then you've got to think the airline, haven't you, rather than the airport?
Well, I was talking about. I don't know whether it was on my. I don't know. I was talking to you, Anthony, or on the current affairs one. When I went to a fringe meeting in '96 or '7, and it was John Prescott, and he was giving it up. And now he knew that Liverpool was a staunch Labour city. And he was saying, "Oh, what we're going to do for you." He said, these people saying, "Well, you don't need to tell us what you're going to give, but don't mess around with us. You know that you don't have to convince us to vote for Labour because we're all Labour people. We're a socialist city." And he said, "I'm going to promise you the second runway, at Speke." He said, "It'll be a big international airport." And that's what, so we said, "Oh, great, okay, yeah, thanks." And what did he do as soon as he got in? He gave it to Manchester. Nothing against Manchester. But, it's like Trump today. He promised a peace campaign. And he turns out to be the worst warmongering USA president ever.
Absolutely.
You see, so it's promises that are terribly broken.
Yes.
But you're right there, Gary. It is shocking. It is shocking. That's why. Go on.
From my point, Gary, I would be quite honoured to have to travel to Dublin, stay there for 6 months, and then go somewhere else, because I would just be in my element.
I mentioned this, Anthony,
Owen.
and he says, "Frank, have you information about the show over the water you have mentioned, please?" Because I mentioned it last night as well.
Yeah.
So go ahead, give the information, Anthony. What you're
Well,
doing?
It's essentially art exhibition which opens up in the whole village is historic, and Frank and I'm sure will do some historic. We'll do a history show about the area and what prompted Port Sunlight Village, which is where it is. But the visionary who established Port Sunlight Village, Lord Leverhulme, he lived for a short time in a cottage on site, and it's called Bridge Cottage. Very historic building in a very picturesque part of Port Sunlight, and that is the base of where the show is going to be. And it kicks off the first couple of weeks of April, and please don't worry because it's there for 5 months. And Frank and I will be dipping in, dipping out, and doing specific shows there. And if we can, we would love to get Jason to film a bit, someone to film a bit, and we'll bounce it back. But as we get closer to the event, we will do a couple of shows and mention it in better detail. And I will design a flyer on artwork which will go up. But what this show has brought us, other than, Frank and I have been friends for over 20 years, um, but it's established the abnormalities of our different careers and brought us like that. Because we're essentially the same person, but firing off in different spheres. And one wonderful thing that has come from this possible show is the possibility we're going to make it an actual, not a possibility, of a book, maybe a series of short books, short storybooks, which are relating pretty much what we talk about, Frank.
Yes, because I think Polo, he says, and who were Charles Dickens's influences. And it's one person, I always remember, I was just talking one day to Anthony, and I said to him, do you know what, Anthony? I said, I love a poet by the name of William Blake. And he said, so do I. So, you get the connection there. William Blake is one of the greatest of all poets, not only a poet, but an artist as well. And
Yes.
He's one of the greatest influences of Charles Dickens, Polo.
Yes. And one particular poem, which Dickens kept going back to and back to and back to, and he was blown away by, which is one that you've recited for us here many times, and it is a great leveler of consciousness about London at the time and now, not just London, Liverpool, and that is London is the title of the poem.
That's right. Because there was lots of vacancy laws at the time in all around cities, even here in Liverpool there was vacancy, and you went to jail. You never got a fine of that. You just went to jail for vagrancy, and that's if you were just walking, say, like Princess Park, for example, here in Liverpool. If you were seen walking through there, you'd just be arrested and put in jail.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. And the likes of Dickens, the likes of William Blake wrote about London. And the very first stanza of his poem, I wander through each chartered street now where the chartered Thames does flow. In every face of man I meet, marks of weakness, marks of woe. And that's so powerful that, this is about the vagrancy law, the chartered street, and you couldn't even walk down a street or anything unless you were dragged in for vagrancy. And then he goes over to another stanza where he just says, as the blood runs down palace walls, the hapless soldier sighs as the blackening church appalls. There's the church. He brings the church into the likes of, it doesn't give a toss about ordinary human life, about the blood of man that's been sent out to wars. And in church appalls as blood runs down palace walls. So he's looking at the establishment that is sending these people out, which again applies today, because when you get the likes of Wilfred Owen and the opening of Anthem for Doomed Youth, the first two lines of Anthem, the title, everything about the title tells you, Anthem for Doomed Youth. These are kids. Believe it or not, the average age of a soldier in the First World War from this country was 17. That was the average age. Anthem for doomed youth. And it says, the opening lines were, what passing bells, the church, what passing bells for these who die as cattle. In other words, it's a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And the church bells are ringing as you're going to into slaughter.
Yeah.
So powerful it is. And this is what's happening today.
Cheers.
This is
Exactly.
what's happening today, ladies and gentlemen.
And going back to your point there about, and we had them here in Liverpool, charted streets. Dickens wrote by taking a 2 or 3 or 4 hour walk of a night. He lived in a cramped house, maybe larger than some, but he had a wife and children and things. So for him to work, he went out to think and would walk for hours and hours and hours. That's how he would write, and he would get these things. People reported saying, "I saw him laughing his head off walking down the street." Like you and I plotting something, and we're walking down Bowl Street, chuckling to ourselves, and someone would say, "Couple of madmen." Then you know what I mean? But that's what. So he was well aware of charted streets, and
Absolutely. It's just so, as he said about influences, Polo, but he has other influences as well, Charles Dickens. And one of the most influential things was the environment of London and the Seven Dials in London. The Seven Dials was where all criminal activity was going on. And he
yeah,
started to write about this particular area. And he started to write about a little boy. He had to have a fictional boy. He was brought up in a workhouse. But he had to have this little boy as born into or born from a middle class family, because even in back in the day, phrenology was a massive thing. The lumps on your head. If you had the lumps on your head, you had more brain power. I'll just say it like that. More brain power, more intelligent than the ordinary person. And the likes of Oliver Twist, that's who he was writing about. Born from a middle class family. However, he grew up in a workhouse, but he didn't need to be educated because there was no education in workhouses. Yet this little boy had a wide range vocabulary, and he could speak fine the Queen's English. So, anything to do with middle classes or upper middle classes, you didn't really need education because you already were educated because you were born into that certain blood type families or generations or whatever you call them, elite.
yeah,
So you didn't really need education, and this is what it was all about. But when you look at the Seven Dials and you see a fellow with long red matted hair, long fingernails, and he was always like this. And the description of him, when you read the description in Oliver Twist of Fagin, it's the descriptive writing of a rat. Incredible.
just incredible.
So this is how we got us over anyway about poverty. And if you think about it, this, certainly, and the rest of our chatters, he's got a load of little boys with him living in the house. In his house. little boys, and he actually gave them surprises, and he congratulated them, and he gave them whatever. So, what are you looking at there? And this is what people tend to oversee. And it's the underlying theme, because it's a well-known fact that back in the 19th century, it was rife for paedophilia, this country.
Children had no voice.
It's like the young harlot's curse, as the infant's blasts the tear. The child, the little baby, to how old is she? 13, 14, having a little baby, as the marriage hearse, is full of plague. Going home, the marriage hearse is the gentleman in a carriage. He's in a carriage.
Yeah.
So it's only the wealthy who have carriages back in the day. In London, for example. So you've got everything involved, from the likes of these young girls going on the game at the age of 11, 10, 11, ends up pregnant. You see, it's a nasty time. And this is what the likes of Blake and Dickens was putting over.
That's the most profound link I feel between the two.
Yeah.
Is that they both raised their head above the parapet and said, in case you're missing it, this is what's going on. Obviously Dickens was very eloquent about lots of things that underpinned the plights of people who were poor. But that I always now see as the direct link between. I can see William Blake saying that's the way he's passed the baton on to Dickens, and Dickens has moved with it.
Yeah, but there was a hell of a lot, as you know, Anthony. There was a hell of a lot of terrible class. And I mean, even the likes of John Keats, he was thrown aside because of, of his status. Yet the elite poets at the time just, pushed it. Well, I'm talking about critics as well, just pushing them aside.
That is an interesting point, that, Frank, and it applies today with anything literary or creative, artistic or acting. The working class, I will say this, and I will have this printed on a hat, and I will live and die with this. You have to work 10 times harder to get the same kind of doors opening to you. But what suited the established classes was they need to appear to be creative then and now and clever, where most of them weren't. And there's so many role models of today that will check that out. But certainly, I think with Keats, who we know came from a very humble background, but his talent was established by his peers, the other poets who didn't have the struggle that he had, and they said, "Whoa, this guy's good." And Keats found in himself a belief that he was good, even though the critics were saying he's nothing. He was born in the backyard of a pub So he's a nobody. He's not going to amount to anything. And yet his peers, Shelley, Bardem, and the like, were saying, "Whoa, he's good. He's good." That's what still happens now. That's what happened with Lennon, John. He was bringing it back to Liverpool, and the Beatles. That's what's happened with Alan Bleasdale, who too, nodding a cap towards Dickens, but also from his own heart, wrote about reality. I think that's the difference. Your money will buy you the opportunities to go into publishing or galleries or study, but it won't buy you reality. You've got to live through that.
You have got to live through it, and that applies to artists as well. And there
Yes.
was a fellow by the name of William Higgins, Liverpool lad, and do you know where he lived, Anthony? Do you know? He lived in Brownlow Hill. I couldn't think. He lived in Brownlow Hill, and believe it or not, that's where all the Bohemian artists and poets and that lived.
And our
And
greatest hero, Mr. Roscoe.
Mr. Roscoe. And when you think about it, Mr. Roscoe, when he lived up the road, didn't he, in Rodney Street? So this is what you had. You had the Bohemian Quarter at where the Adelphi Hotel is now.
Yeah.
The new one. That was the Bohemian Quarter right around there. And
Mm.
there was a lad by the name of William Higgins. And Higgins, he had an exhibition down in London. And one of the art critics, he was looking and he said, yes, that's wonderful, this. Look, have you seen this? And when he was told that his name was William Higgins, and he came from Liverpool, from up north in Liverpool, but he said he couldn't have done this. Because he was only going on the premise of a name, Higgins, and also Liverpool, because he thought that the likes of artists, as you know, the likes of artists only came from around south, the south, the likes of London, for example. And I'm going to show you this wonderful. This is in the Walker Gallery, by the way. This is his work. And he loved doing animals. Can I turn you off a minute? I'm awfully sorry.
Of course.
So I can just show. Sorry, mate. Apologies. I'll just take. Bella, sorry there, Bella. I'm going to take that off and I'll put you back on and say hello to you. Okay. There's his painting. God blimey, there's his painting there, which is hanging in the Walker Gallery, right? The Walker Gallery. It's absolutely I'm sorry it's like this. And also a portrait. Oh, God blimey, it's so awkward, this, for me. It's there, yes. I'm going the other way. And a portrait of an English gentleman, Liverpool gentleman with his horse. Because what he did, he actually did wonderful horses, all animals. And yet, this man, because of his name, Anthony, Higgins, and where he came from was dispelled. Again, it's the class. I just want to say hello to Bella. Buonasera, Franco and Antonio, and all. Hope you're all well. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Bella. Wonderful to see you on. Hope you're well.
Yeah, our little Bella. Yeah, who's been ill, but now she's out and in fine fettle.
Brilliant.
Um, do you know her daughter and sons went
Yeah.
to Turkey last night, Galatasaray,
Wow.
and they got peace. Anyway, Johan says, remember someone mentioned the world-renowned turtle soup that was served at the Adelphi when Dickens used to... Yeah, you're right there, turtle soup. Anthony has turtle soup every day, along with a bottle of grouse. He
Yeah.
doesn't have one, you see.
Yeah. The only thing it ever did for me is turn my hair white. Yeah.
And Owen says, just trying to think of Dickens as being on a money note. Yeah, he was. I forget what note. Was it a £10 note at one time or a £5 note? I'm not quite so sure.
Because William Turner is now on one, isn't he? So I don't know, you know. It's been so long since we've seen money, Frank.
Especially £5 notes and £10 notes. I know that there was a lady on, and she was called Queen. I thought it was, you know, the lad from Queen, if you know what I mean. But it wasn't.
Oh, you know what? But it again, it's the reality that underpins their work, and that's what the class system is envious of. Whether it be George Stubbs or Mr. Higgins, as you just displayed, the work is without doubt phenomenal.
Stubbs was brilliant. Do you know what he used to do? I'll just see what Gary's going mad about this thing. He's saying, it's only a 3-hour flight, so it doesn't make sense. You know, having to go to Dublin down to London. I just feel sorry for you. Gary, honestly, mate, you know, it's just nuts. I understand that. Go to Dublin, get another flight down to London, and then a flight up to.
Wow.
And it takes longer from London to get to the Reykjavik because it's an extra half hour, if you know what I mean, flight time.
The big question
is from Manchester or Liverpool.
Why? Why have I got to go to London to fly to Halifax?
Exactly. That's why when I go to Italy, I only go there, as you know, and I just fly to either Napoli or Venezia airport, fly into Naples, you know, from going down the south, from Liverpool, or just fly again from, oh no, I can't go, I go to Manchester to fly to Venezia. Gary says, I do love Dublin, Anthony, to be honest. He loves Dublin.
Fantastic.
And Kay McCarthy, one of my favourite books out of the many I've read over the years has to be Keep the Aspidestra Flying, written by George Orwell. Are you familiar with it? Keep the Aspidestra... It doesn't... No. Are you familiar with that? Keep the Aspidestra...
Although we are 100% fans of Mr. Blair, yeah, George Orwell. We'll check it out on your recommendation.
No, never heard of it. The only thing about the Aspidestra is that Gracie Fields used to carry the appetizer in the wind. She was an awful singer, eh? Gracie Fields, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I know about aspirates. She sang about them. It wasn't
Yeah.
as I know anything about them. I'm sorry, Dad, Kay. I'm sorry, mate. Honestly. Evening, Frank and Anthony, says Barry Aldridge.
Good evening, Barry. Thanks for.
And Donna said, Anthony, thank you. Whatever she's thanking you for.
That's lovely. Donna, but you are so welcome, whatever I've done.
And Polo says, thanks, Frank and Anthony. Says the Polo. I love the village. The twisted chimney are beautiful. Would you say architectural style is like an arts and craft style, or are they older?
Yes, I would say, well, it's similar to the arts and crafts, and so much so that when William Morris, who I think was tipped off by friends, you should come visit us, he visited it. He fell in love with it. Yeah. It should really have taken off in different, I believe the the founders of Cadbury's did a similar thing for their workforce. But it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does.
Of semi-safety, and had school, churches, the archive built, bowling green.
Leverhulme and Cadbury, they were great philanthropists for the workers, because you had others, who didn't give a toss, and they certainly didn't give a toss about health and safety, if you know what I mean. People died, and they never got compensated or nothing.
Yeah.
And they were the breadwinners at the time of the family, the breadwinner of the family, and they weren't compensated. I think they were given a week's wages. Shocking. And Owen says, Bella, glad you're here. Hope you're on the mend, says Owen. And thank you, Owen. Yes, I'm getting there. You okay? Yes, Bella. I'm great, thank you. That's lovely to acknowledge there, people. It really is.
It is. It is wonderful. And
Johan, so it's confirmed that Fagan would have been, yes, in the Epstein files, yes.
Or Epstein's boss.
Yeah, most probably.
Well, we
he was
know
inviting Epstein over, and Ghislaine, and Donald, and Bill.
It's interesting to know that one of the prison guards has supposedly released a statement to say Epstein walked out. He walked out quite alive. So, yeah.
I'm going to get down to you, and let me just read these out. And then we'll go back to them, because they're very important. Donna, Frank Anthony, do you think the world has changed? That's one. Owen says, the house that Benjamin Franklin lived in while in England was found to have multiple bodies buried there, dating from the time he was there. He was the Hellfire Club, don't forget. Yeah, he was in the Hellfire Club. He was, Franklin. Well done, Owen. He was in that. And Johan, wasn't Dickens called an anti-Semite for his portrayal of Fagin being stereotypically Jewish? He was ahead of the curve. Wonder what he'd write about them if he was around today. They're great. Like, let's get back to
That's
Little
a
Donna.
brilliant.
Hang on, let's get back to Donna.
Yeah.
As the world changed, she's asked us, as the world changed.
In some ways, yes. Medicine, science, everything has advanced, but human nature has not advanced one
Where?
iota. It's got worse. Greed has got worse. The desire for ownership, possessiveness has got worse. And it's interesting what you touched on before when you were talking about that wonderful artist, Higgins, who and his paintings and the animals and um, the connection with animals is not just uh, a foible of anyone. It goes well back to. I was reading about it today. We have a list of favourites. Leonardo da Vinci's entire wealth of knowledge was inspired by love of the animal kingdom, which wouldn't have been great in terms of expansive animals because he lived in Italy, but you know what he had grown up with. Um, he felt that as real. That's real. And some man or woman standing on the box saying, you need to do this, you need to go there, you need to kill him because he's going to kill you, is not real. So I think there's a foundation in reality which poets, writers, definitely artists, and actors seek um, strength from.
Yes, they do seek strength. It's collective, isn't it? No matter. So you'd have to speak for yourself and the artists, if you know what I mean,
Yeah,
because that what you do is your vocation. You've got the likes of Leonardo da Vinci. Uh, you know, his vocation was to paint, but also to write, but also to invent. He was an incredible visionary, and
that's
also he was a visionary. Go on, I'm sorry,
you,
Anthony. But
you hit the nail bang on the head, Frank. He didn't see himself as an artist. Um, he saw himself as an inventor. And you and I have had private chats about some of the magical things that were invented, not by Leonardo per se, where you talk about the great Galileo and people like that who were inventing things to enhance humanity. And Leonardo took it a stage further. And then after him, other people would have done the same thing. But none in certainly not in our lifetime or a thousand of our lifetimes have come close to that because at some point it turned to, well, you can make money on that, Frank. And
make money on what?
so it became a need to make money. Why?
Also,
No. Why?
you see, when we look at, you just mentioned there about Da Vinci, being an inventor, which he was, and this man could write backwards. He could write backwards.
Yeah.
Try doing that. It's very, very, very hard. But he also wrote in a language that no one can understand even today. They can't decipher it. There's only I read a little bit about well, the book of relativity, and everything about Einstein, and I couldn't understand it because when you get into it, and I always remember the author, I forget who the author was. He said, "You won't understand." As I was reading it, I'm going back to when I was like mid-20s or whatever. It said this book won't be understood for another 200 years. Another 200 years. And they still can't get how he managed to say that space could bend to
Yes.
get from A to B so quickly.
Yes.
It's incredible, what this man was writing about. But
Yeah.
when you look at Da Vinci and what he tried to do,
But
it's incredible.
I
It's
mean, some things can be relatively easy explained. Why did he write in such a funny direction? He was left-handed, and he wrote notes quickly, as you and I have a conversation, and you're seeing me write notes as we talk. He wrote like that, so he would write so that he didn't smudge the ink. So that was one angle of looking at what he did. And also, these are very, then and now, are very competitive times. Because believe it or not, if you were to write a wonderful book about the origins of Italian families in Liverpool, hypothetically, then someone would want to nick that book and claim it as their own, which has been going on since Leonardo's day. You know, I know my work goes out there, and we know a fellow brother of ours, Davy the Pap, will send me a message and said someone's ripping you off at such a gallery in Liverpool, whatever, and he will go there because he's just like you and me, and he will say that's a copy of Anthony Brown's work. Now that will apply to your work as well, but sometimes we don't hear or see it. And that would have applied to Leonardo's work. And there would have been a point in time where Leonardo said, "Do you know what? I'm fucked off with these shower bastards. I'm
well,
trying to get
when
in."
you know that I told you privately about me and I was writing something and all of a sudden it was plagiarized. And I'm talking about word for word.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
yeah.
Well, it's the way it is. There's lots of plagiarism that goes on
And I,
around the world, and it's taken away the value of another person, another person's work,
is
another
it?
person's research, everything, and you know that, and you know what I'm talking about, and
Absolutely.
it's a sad reflection on everything.
It
Now I
is.
know even today, Anthony, there are things that go on social network that's I've done on my I've actually done on my DVDs.
And you,
Not
yeah,
only that, but also I was talking to some fella, and remember when I said I wanted to do a thing a couple of years ago,
yeah,
and the next, this fella is a mate. I fucked him off, but I'm sorry to swear, but because as Einstein said, you've got to emphasise a point with an expletive. So anyway, I got rid of him, and I've got a new fella now that we're going to do it in the summer, which is it's my legacy, to be honest, Anthony.
it
But
sounds.
what I've seen now is like I'll explain to you what I've seen, and it's heartbreaking. Actually, this is me. No one's ever thought until I seen this fella and told him what I wanted to do, and he fucking didn't come and see me. And he said, this is 2 years ago, then he got in touch and he said, I'm awfully sorry, I was ill, but he's been fucking telling these other people, or one certain person, what I wanted to do because he's fucking doing it. But he can't do it what I want anyway, if you know what I mean. But there are certain things that he's doing, and I went, that's fucking wrong, though.
Yeah.
I know it's him. I know he's been fucking blabbing about what I wanted to do. But anyway, that's by the by. And it's wrong to plagiarise.
It's not by the by. It shouldn't be by the by. It's a disgusting act of theft.
Yeah.
But what you've just done then in that statement, which is real, is that underlines what Leonardo was doing. Why did he do that? Why did he write backwards? Why did he hide that? He's doing it because some bastard was going to rip him off.
Of course.
And why do we do it? Why do I not paint so much as I did? It's because I'm not painting for someone else to rip it off. But we live in dangerous times for any creative writers, artists, musicians, because the times of AI are not great. There are more handicaps to face now. And in terms of going back to Donna's point, have times changed? Not really, but
the only thing is, as you mentioned about times changing, is the technology.
Which
That's
is equally as bad as it is.
Because it's as Dickens said, hell is empty, all the devils are here. And that applies to what's going on today.
Absolutely. It's again to quote the great Oscar Wilde that you did last week or the week before. You said people are quite happy to tell you the price of everything, but they know the value of nothing.
Nothing. Oscar. Johan says, wasn't Dickens called an anti-Semite for his portrayal of Fagin being stereotypically Jewish? He was ahead of his curve. Wonder what he'd write about them if he was around today. Well, the thing is that he no matter what, you can't even say Israel now without being called an anti-Semite. And that's wrong. That's wrong. You can't even say the country because they know that you're going to add to it and it's not going to be in a favourable narrative, but you're going to add to it. The name Israel. And it's what going. I put a comment, believe it or not, I went on Facebook today because I seen something came up. And it was about Sanchez, President Sanchez of Spain. And he said, no, he said, you're not flying from my country to go and bomb Iran or whatever. And I just put in, I'm delighted to hear that at least a Western European leader has stood up against the onslaught, against America and Israel for their onslaught in Iran and Gaza. That's what I said. And this fella come on to me and call me for everything. Some MAGA fella, some particular American, you know what I mean? And I said, well, you know, and another one came on and said, well, really, Spain, get onto this. This is how pedantic some fucking people are. And he said, but Spain's not in Western Europe. It's southwest. It's on the southern. And I thought, you know, I ain't fucking answered him. I told him to fuck off as well. You know, being pedantic about not being in the West, but it's southern Europe.
Yeah.
I don't understand. They're trying to get a point over.
Yeah.
But he has answers for them anyway. But you're right there, Johan Dickens. Look, the likes of Fagin he was based on a real life character from Leeds. Was Fagin. Real life character, offence. And when you look at Fagin, he was a paedophile. When you look deeply, and this is what Anthony, yourself, and myself are going to do about these, about characters in books and things and poems. We're going to look deeply and give the backgrounds of some of them. It's only what the wonderful Charlotte Bronte said when she, you know, opening paragraph, well, you know, the church wears many masks because of bigotry and cruelty. And the only thing that stands today is money and status. The poor are forgotten. Charity is an unacceptable word. Think about that. And that's what a little paragraph, and that's what Charlotte Bronte was saying, because it's a semi-autobiography, Jane Eyre. She was Jane Eyre. Absolutely brilliant. It's one of the greatest novels of, well, it's my favourite novel of all time.
Yeah. I think for me, the very reason that you've inspired me to get off my lazy butt and do some painting was primarily because of that opening statement, that opening paragraph in her book.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Incredible is right. And what's more incredible, or is it saddening as well, is that it's not changed, does it, Frank?
No, it isn't.
Church still puts a mask on.
Yeah, it is something. That gentleman there, Anthony. That gentleman there, right?
Mr. Kirk?
Yes. Now, he was buried in an unknown grave. And this is...
That is...
He was an unbelievable man. And as you know, I wrote a play about him. And what Dickens, you know, a reflection of Dickens. And for a man, he was the first Liverpool recipient of a Victoria Cross. Victoria Cross. A very brave man. But unfortunately, he suffered from narcolepsis, where you can slur your speech and you stagger, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And, well, the story goes anyway. And he was born in a workhouse. As his life went on, he won a Victoria Cross. And he dies in the same workhouse. It's just like one of those great people that we think of. And I forgot to mention to Johan that we'll be talking about. And I forgot to mention him. Yeah, writing about him, sorry. Is the wonderful artist of The Raven.
Edgar.
Mr. Carling.
Mr. Carling. James William Carling.
Absolutely.
From the streets
From the streets of Liverpool,
to the,
he was a kid doing art, pavement art,
to survive.
to survive. And he goes to America with his brother, doesn't he? Or he's already there. And
He was there and he said, "This is what you want to get over here, you know."
get over here and hurry up. Anyway, he goes over, and what you see, the Raven and other drawings, and that's William Carling, James William Carling.
And
A great lad.
his beautiful work is still on display now. If ever anyone travels to Virginia, it's in the Edgar Allan Poe Museum, which is in Lynchburg, in Virginia, and those drawings are there.
And as Mr. Snape says, they shelled an extortionate amount out for that turtle soup, apparently. Evening up, evening there, Snapey. They shelled.
Yeah.
Do you like the pun?
Evening Snapey. Yeah. Well, much as I like seafood and fish, I think Frank and I would have done with a bag of chips.
Yes. Yes.
Or a
Snapey
pizza.
would tell me, don't eat chips. Go on.
Or a pizza.
Or a pizza. Oh.
2 lemon jellos and a pizza. There you go.
And the lovely little Donna says, the composer Max Brunch, the composer, wow, I've been listening to his music and I believe he was part of the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra. Max Brunch.
Max Brunch. We will dip into that, Donna, and get back to you on Monday or whenever when we're next together.
Well, Donna, that's where, when you get up and you don't have a breakfast, but you have a brunch. That's where it comes from, Max.
Max.
Because you're having a dinner and a lunch and a breakfast at once. Because Max, because of his composing abilities, he woke up one morning and he just went straight to work composing. And it was 12:30 in the afternoon. And someone said, would you like a cup of tea, Max? And he said, yeah, I haven't had my breakfast. And she said, oh, okay, then would you like something to eat? And he said, yeah. And she said, well, what would you call that? If you don't have breakfast, then you have a lunch. And he said, brunch.
And the bigger it is, Max, that's a Max Brunch.
And if you believe that, you'd believe anything.
Oh,
Tea over there. Evening, Frank and Anthony. Evening tea.
Evening, TW.
And Snapey says, evening, Barry Aldridge. There's our lovely little Lauren. Good evening, Frankie and Mr. Brown. And Max. There's little Max there.
Good
Max
evening, Colin. I gotta say, guys, I get a bit nervous with the Mr. Brown stuff all the time. You know, it's like going back to school.
What was that, Mr. Brown? There's a big difference between Semite and anti-Zionist, says Owen Lee.
Yeah, it is.
But that's for Friday, that, Owen, when you join, because I know you do join. And the Snape says, the world changed dramatically Reagan, Thatcher, and the demise of communism brought about socio-economic deprivation on a global scale. The working class were cut adrift. Everyone became more selfish. That's a good point, there, actually. Do you think that? I'll just go back to that because that's a very good point. And Johan says to Owen, true, the Zionists equate Judaism and Zionism to promote anti Semitism, to justify their look at that, that's brilliant. Genocidal, isn't that brilliant? Ethno-state. That's absolutely brilliant. Two good comments there. And
Yeah.
oh, fucking hell, everyone's fucking having a good day tonight. That's brilliant. And Owen says to Donna, I misread your post and thought you put it was ELO. Mr. Brunch and ELO. Electric light workers. Do you think history keeps repeating itself, says Bella? Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
And we sadly do not learn from the bulk of it. We do learn from some things, but we do not learn from the bulk of it because to love my tuppen take me in. The people who seek power know what parts of history to dip into and to abuse in the present day.
Well, yes, because no matter, say, this is why we do literature, Bella, because history is repeating itself. When you read something, say like from Shakespeare, right up to what we talk about to 19th century literature people, whether it's prose or whether it's poetry, it's all the same. It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. What's happening today? Because it does repeat itself. Evening, Snapey. And the Snape says, I'm still struggling with the concept of the written word, never mind writing backwards. However, perusing some Man United's websites, they are obviously way ahead in the writing backwards race. And he's having a go at you, but it's only banter, Johan. It's only banter, mate. Don't be worrying about that.
But there's an interesting point I came across with the Chinese professor we were talking about briefly earlier. And forgive me, Professor Yang, he's out there on every platform. Please check him out. But his take on it was that his site is called Predictive History. And his take on what's going on now and what will happen next month or 6 months is to review what happened in the past. The future is determined what has happened by what has happened in the past. And he's not the first to say that, obviously. It's where the statement, history repeats itself, is all about. But there are people who wait and time their move. Fashion, houses, music, writers, a theme of that would embrace the people. They take from the past.
Well, I think what you just said sums up what Rapat says there. He says, the times change, the tools evolve, but the game is still the same. Evening, Frank, Anthony, and Joe.
Good evening, we're back. Deep words to introduce tonight, but perfect timing. Absolutely perfect. You could be a drummer.
To Antonio from Bella. To Antonio, who paints with the grace of Leonardo, and Franco, who captures the soul of Dickens and the bard. You prove that while the years may pass, true art and history always repeat their beauty. From Bella.
Bella, that is absolutely beautiful. And we have so missed you on your words. That is beautiful. And I'm touched, but I know I'm speaking from the both of us is that long may that last. That description of us both is we're proud to
Because
acknowledge.
there are things going to go into the book, the likes of a few poems as well, and also some comments from the people on, who chat about history and things.
Absolute should be.
You
Yeah,
know, the comments, some brilliant comments, we've had, like tonight, even in the past, because we will be looking at everything. So you'll end up in the book.
fantastic.
And Johan to Owen, the Purim ritual is coming soon where they let their kids smoke and drink all day. Yeah, they do actually. They do. Now there's Gary Rice. He's having problems getting to Reykjavik on Thursday at the weekends. And there's Johan and the foothills of Everest. You can't make it up, can you? We've got great people on here. Absolutely great. Unbelievable. And the Snape says, I must suffer with narcolepsy if I drink staggerings, slurred speech symptoms all too frequently exhibited when I get a whiff off the barmaid's apron. Seems legit to me. Was it all up in court though? No. And lovely Lauren. Bella Italia. Bellissimo. Isn't that lovely? She's saying about that little poem that she wrote.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. Lauren says, little Lauren, she's lovely.
brunch.
John's laughing at brunch.
Donna,
Max brunch.
I'm starving now. You stop talking about food.
So every time, someone says, you fancy a brunch? You'll always think of Max and
Yeah,
music playing in the background.
yeah, yeah.
It's like those, honestly, I keep saying this. Do you ever remember when Pano first came out, Anthony?
I do.
Right.
Yeah.
These three girls, we was in the legs of man, there's just wait, there's only the three of us in, four of us, the lads, and we wait for the other mates to walk in. And it was empty, where we were standing in the corner. The bar was completely empty. And these three girls walked in, and they were this way, let's try it. And she went, can we have 3 peanuts, please? And the barman just looked at her, Anyway, he went to get the 3 peanuts. So I said, it's peanuts, And she just looked at me, with an F-off face to tell me. I just looked away. And she said, it's peanuts. Yeah. So anyway, the barman came over, and he put the 3 peanuts down. And he said to her very politely, it's peanut. She looked at him with another F-off face on her. And he went, okay. Took the money and just give it a change, walked away. And left the 3 lovely ladies drinking peanuts. It's just fantastic, some of the things. And Johan says, all right, no more, Mr. Brown. Monsieur Antoine from now on. Monsieur Antoine.
Je paint your queue.
Oh, yeah, look, coming up with Italian, French and everything. Can I show you something on my little map? Hey.
What?
It's going worse, this. Anyway, can I show you something on my little map? Hey. You there, aren't me?
Yeah, I'm
fucking asking you a question.
Go on.
Can I show you something on my map?
Yes, please, Frank.
Oh, blimey, that's the hardest thing I've ever done to me. Like,
I'm trying to read Snape's comments.
Oh, the Snape's. Well, I'll read it out anyway because I want to read Kay McCarthy's house as well. I love that, Kay McCarthy. Like Che Guevara. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Che McCarthy. Well done there, Che McCarthy. I'll read it out in a moment. The Snape says, no brown nosing, please. Anthony self-evidently finds it unnerving. Nothing's more volatile than an emotionally unbalanced artist. Imbalanced, I thought that was unbalanced. Imbalanced artist. Oh, well, different strokes for different blokes. And Che McCarthy says, You say you rely on chatters, but your response to my suggestion was unacceptable. Why laugh? What was that? What was that, Shay? I don't know what you said, mate. Do you know what he said? I think we've lost Shay. I'm going to go down. I'm going to find out what I'm supposed to have fucking said.
Nothing comes to mind for me.
One of my favourite books out of the many I have read over the years has to be Keep the Aspidistra Flying, written by George Orwell. Are you familiar with it? We said no, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
And the only Aspidistra around there was Gracie Fields singing it. Is there any harm in that?
No.
I don't fucking believe it, honest. He says, you say you rely on chatters, but your response to my suggestion was unacceptable. Why laugh? Was I unacceptable or was you unacceptable?
Not that I was aware. If we've offended anyone, we always, but no, not at all. No.
I don't know how he thinks that like your response to my suggestion was unacceptable. I want to know how it was unacceptable.
Don't know.
See, if you've never read a thing and it's a certain aspidistra and it reminds you of something that Gracie Fields sang with a silly little voice, what's wrong with saying that? Fucking hell. You say you rely on chatters, but you're smart. Yeah, okay. Anthony, talking about drummers, have you heard about the drummer who had twin girls and called them Anna 1 and Anna 2? Says Owen Lee. And Snapey says, for global trends irrespective of the genre, see rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. We are told as children, oh, you'll never learn. Some excrement different day. Are we really the most intelligent, says the Snape?
No, we're not.
And lovely Lauren, listen, hang on a minute. Lovely Lauren says, don't be mean to Frankie, to that Shay McCarthy.
The closest match to humans, DNA wise and everything, is 99% match is from chimpanzees.
And Johan says to Sheikh McCarthy, is a bit sensitive. Also, his account was created 30 minutes before the show started. I think we know who Shay is. Thank you, Johan. You're a fucking good one. Johan, brilliant.
Thank you, Johan.
Thank you, little Lauren, as well for.
Yeah.
Shay McCarthy is a bit sensitive. Also, his account was created 30 minutes before the show started. I think we know who Shay is. You just can't get these fucking people, can you? They're just assholes. They are. And Donna says, "Shay off. Don't let him lose our humour," says Donna. And Owen to Johan. Well done. Thumbs up.
Yes. Johan Jeremy.
You see the way, like the way someone comes in, and what have we called them? Snides, haven't we?
Yeah.
Snides, and we don't like snides. Do we, Anthony?
We despise snides, Frank.
Because we've had them, haven't we, Anthony?
Oh my gosh.
We've experienced them.
And
that's a snide.
Yeah.
That's a snide. I've had them all before. And the Snape says, some people have nothing positive to say, but they say it through a megaphone. That comment about being offended typifies those who struggle to differentiate inarticulate keyboard warriors. 10 a penny. Select. Well done, Johan.
We wouldn't waste your penny, but yeah. Bella, totally agree.
It's like anything. we've read so much, and I mean so much, over the years. People on our chatters, they've read so much. They have read so much. They pick up a book and read it. They've been doing it for years and years and years. Point is, and the unfortunate thing is, that when we read, this is why we're going to write these little books, short volumes, putting everything in, because there is so much that people, unfortunately, no matter how good a reader you are, you miss out things. And this is what we're putting in. This is like the likes of, like Johan mentioned before about when Dickens wrote about Fagin. Would he have been anti-Semitic? Well, not then, but now you are. Now you are. Because when we talk about the likes of Fagin and the way he's portrayed, especially as I said, descriptive writing about him, where he's looking at the character and he's describing him. He's describing him what he looks like and how he moves and how he twitches his nose and his mouth. And his face is screwed up and long red matted hair and long fingernails. That's always, and it was a rat he was describing. And people miss out on that. And this is what we're going to cover on certain things, even in poetry. We mentioned London.
Yes.
We mentioned it.
Yeah.
We mentioned about Wilfred Owen, an anthem for doomed youth. So that's what we'll be looking at, isn't it, Anthony? But, we're going right to Dick and to Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Even Marlowe, Christopher Marlowe, the Jew of Malta.
Yeah.
Would he have been anti-Semitic?
Yeah.
The Jew of Malta. Shakespeare, Shylock. And he's always like that, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. This is a great thing, and forgive me because I've forgotten the person who devised the quote, but it was something like, your true enemy is someone that you can't criticize.
What it is, yeah, that's right. It's like, who said it? I think it was Plato who said the most hated man is the man who speaks the truth. Bang. The man who speaks the truth.
Yes.
Don't you think that's fantastic?
Yeah. And right? Yeah.
You see, the likes of, what's his name? Oh, what's his name? Do you know, I forgot. I think it was Mark Twain. I think it was. I'm not quite so sure it was, and I really am. But anyway, he said there are many humorous things in the world, among them the white man's notion that he is a less savage than other savages. And that is, yeah, he was a savage. What do you think? His comments by me laughing at him. I was laughing at him. Was I laughing at him?
That's bollocks. I think that's a literary term for it. Is, you know, snide bollocks.
He's even got Anthony. He's even got Anthony. I'm going to show you something here. And if you think oh, that's brilliant. Johan with a quote. If you want to know who rules over you, look at who you are not allowed to criticize. Yes. Unquote.
Here you
Yes.
go. Thank you, Johan.
Look at this fella. Where am I?
Oh, I.
Do you know who that is?
I'm just looking at what a stupid thing he's got on.
Do you know who it is?
No?
That is Pete Hegseth. You know, the defense, he used to be the defense secretary. Now he's the defense of war. This is the fella who says, yeah, we want to kill all of them. You know, Iran.
Yeah.
Look at him. White supremacist.
Yeah.
Pete Hegseth. Isn't he one horrible person? Look at him.
Yeah.
A greasy oaf tattooist. And he's telling. Do you ever remember, Anthony? I know this is wrong, but anyway. Do you ever remember little speedboats going up, in the Caribbean, and they were being blown up by warships, American warships, and helicopters and whatever in the Caribbean Sea, and they were fishermen. They had nothing at all to do with drugs, right? Yeah. And there was two lads in the water, and what the maritime law is, that if you see anyone in the water, even an enemy, you're supposed to pick them up. Do you know what that fella said with the tattoos? He just said, get rid of them. Kill them while they're in the water, in other words. And he was asked about, the young children, 160 young children being burnt alive because of these bombs. It wasn't one bomb that struck. It was a double tap, meaning another one went in to that school and killed those 160 children, school children from the age of 7 to 12. And he wasn't fucking worried. He was asked, he said, we're investigating. He knows who done it. They were American Tomahawk missiles.
They've denied it every day, and the fat tangerine who's in charge has said the same thing.
Yeah.
The newspapers are now starting to bring out the evidence, which is
they know that it was Tomahawks.
It was American, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's back, look. Frank, you don't know Orwell that well, okay? I don't know.
Fuck off, shit.
I didn't know him personally, but.
No. Send a tenner to Jim Fitzpatrick for using his artwork.
Say that again.
The artwork he's using is devised by a Dublin artist called Jim Fitzpatrick, who was a friend of Thin Lizzy and did all her album covers. But he did that particular artwork many years ago.
And the Snape says, we procrastinate till we're blue in the... I'm sorry, Anthony. I'm sorry to... I thought you finished.
Frank, give the artist a tenner, buy yourself a Big Mac, and shut the...
We procrastinate till we're blue in the face. We crave a shift in the human race. We're all embroiled in our own little struggle, while other poor souls' lives are a constant muddle. That's a cracking little poem, that, isn't it?
Yeah. That's
well
brilliant.
done, Sneaky.
Yeah.
So, and Johan says 2 tomahawks on a girls' school. The second one was after the medics arrived to kill the medics, and they're American. Tomahawks are American.
Yes.
This is why he wouldn't sell them to. He wouldn't sell them to Zelensky, the most corrupt leader on the planet. He wouldn't sell them. He was wanting tomahawks. But I don't know whether you know this. We sent in, I think it was a Storm Shadow into Russia, us, Britain. Britain. Did you know that? We're just waiting now for the repercussions of this stupid government of ours. And the Red Pat says to Johan, the notorious double tap, maximum devastation to target on emergency services. Wonder what country taught the US that? Yes.
We landed the brave and the free.
Yes.
Question mark on both.
Hi, Frank and Anthony, you chat. Hiya, Paulie.
Good evening, Paul.
See how it's gone from one to another.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm glad because we always comment on wonderful comments, you know, from these people who are absolutely brilliant minds.
Yes.
Look at this quote from Rumi. Quote, the beauty you see in me is a reflection of you. Unquote. Beautiful, that. From Bella.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are many things in life, Anthony. And whoever invented the roller coaster, you know, that's life.
He was portraying life, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Ups and downs. Ups and downs. And that's what life's all about. You can either, look, throughout the years we've been avid readers, so our lovely people on there, you know, avid readers, we've always read, no matter what, we picked up a book and read it. And remember the poem by Thomas Hardy?
Yes.
The Darkling Thrush.
I do.
It was a little creature
Yeah.
on the opening day of a new century.
Yeah.
Whereas the human was so full of pessimism, and it had to be a little creature, a beruffled creature, an aged thrush that blurted out and even sung optimism, optimism for mankind. And what do we look at creatures? You know, we have them as pets, you know, whether it's little young Lauren and a cat, and whether it's someone who takes the dog out for a walk every
Yeah.
day and every evening.
Yeah.
So, you know, people love pets.
Did you?
The only thing I didn't like is, you know, like budgerigars and canaries and, you know, parrots and whatever, stuck in cages. And I
I
think
used
it's
to be a kid. We used to have one, and my dad would always there'd be a point in the day where he'd open the cage and the butcher would
let it
find.
fly about. Yeah.
Yeah. But I totally get what you're saying, and I totally agree. I think um, the inclusion of an animal, a pet, in your life is a grounding for whatever else the day brings. Um, yeah.
And Johan to the pat must be a country with an Ireland, Italy, India. Now, what did the pat say? The notorious double tap, maximum devastation to target an emergency. Said, wonder what country taught the US that. And as Johan replied, which is
Yes.
brilliant, the pat must be a country with an I. Ireland? Question mark. Italy? Question mark. India? Question mark.
No.
Yes. Brilliant, brilliant response. And Rapat says, Frank, Anthony, I have been theorising how one empire is extorted and asset stripped to birth the next, whilst the empire changes, but the emperors move on to the next host. Do you think it has merit? No, it hasn't. Nothing. I don't like empires. I've never been an imperialist. You know, a lover of imperialism. I've never been a lover like today. What's going on, which is costing thousands upon thousands of lives, and that's a regime change by a certain country that goes into a country and says, we don't like what you're doing, so what we're going to do, we're going to put in this fella or this woman to take over your country because she'll be doing or he'll be doing what we say. And that's what's happening today. That's what, you know, Venezuela, just take that for example. America went in, took out the president of that country and his wife and brought them to America to stand trial for fucking what? They said that they were sending in drugs. No, they weren't. It's a disgrace what America are doing right now for the love of Israel. That's what they're doing. Israel are telling, Netanyahu is telling Trump what to do and American people. And people are turning against America all because of it. And this is supposedly the man of peace who demanded, not asked or, you know, he demanded the Nobel Peace Prize. And the stupid woman who won it, Ricardo, presented the Peace Prize that she won to Trump. But, you know, Norway said, no, you can't have it, that's it. And yet this man is here causing hundreds of thousands of deaths and supplying another country with weapons and munitions to commit genocide. And this is what they want to do now in Iran. They want to do it in Iran, but Iran is standing firm. Okay, now it's gone beyond anything. So, has it got merit? Nowhere, apart. Honestly, nothing has got merit. Not where people.
No merit, no moral.
No, none at all. No morality whatsoever. And Snapey says insularity breeds isolation. Selfishness runs through all nations. We're all one species, like Lenin said, but politicians can't get it in their heads. They don't want to because they're corrupt. That's why, Snapey, they're corrupt. We're under the umbrella of a little tiny fucking country somewhere in the Middle East, a tiny little country. We're under their umbrella. And I reckon that tiny little country, and it's not Italy, it's not India, it's not Ireland, who said, I want you to send in a storm shadow deep into Russia to strike a certain oil refinery. Or was it a weapons factor? I'm not quite so sure. Now, the question is, Anthony, has Russia got the right to defend itself from a missile sent by a different country?
Yes.
There you go. In a nutshell. And Donna said, hey, Frank, you don't like my dogs. It's never fuck. I hang you up. And I never stop barking. I didn't stop barking. And she was saying, oh, shut up. Shut up, Benji. Shut up. Or I'll let you over the edge with the phone. So she's coming out with violence against the little animal. I couldn't hear it. I said, what was you saying? What was that? So behave yourself, John, or I'll kick your head in. And Bella says to Paulie, hi, Paulie. Hi, Bella, says Paulie. Morning. Hi, Paulie. Hi, Bella.
Brilliant, guys. Keep them dogs quiet.
And the Pat says, sorry, Frank, never be sorry. Honestly, don't ever say that. Just say, Frank, I wasn't advocating for an empire, merely asking, do you think the theory I suggested has merit that what is actually happening, or am I off the mark? Well, it depends on what you're trying to say about what's happening. Do you mean in Iran? Do you mean in, like I mentioned, Venezuela? And what's going to happen to Mexico? And what's going to happen to Ecuador? And what's going to happen to Cuba? Is that what you mean, Rapa? I just don't know. I wasn't advocating for empire, merely asking, do you think the theory I suggested has merit. That is what is actually happening. Or am I off the mark? There's no merit in what's happening. You know, to the likes of Venezuela, to the likes of what's going to happen to Cuba, to Mexico. You know, and even what's happening in Ukraine and what's happening in Iran. There's no merit whatsoever. I don't know. Maybe I'm misinterpreting what you're saying, Pat. Really? And the Pat said, "No, you never. I'll never apologise. Honestly, the Pat, you're a good man. You really are." I'm better. Lauren, hi. And Joanna, as Monsieur Antoine mentions, check out Professor Yang from Predictive History and his Pax Judaisha. Is that Judaisha theory? Is that about Judaism?
Yeah. Yeah.
Predictive history.
That's
And its Pax. Go on.
That's the basis of, you can predict what's going to happen because it happened before. Someone else has done it in some bloody battle with the loss of countless thousands of lives, men, women, children, to gain, as the great Charlotte Bronte said, status and wealth.
That's all that matters. I'm going to ask a question here, people, because I love you all, and I know that you are all well up. And the Pat says, I saw Mercado give Trump, ridiculous. You know, the Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize. FIFA was forced into giving Trump a Peace Prize. FIFA, you're meant to administrate people kicking a ball. Stick to that. Okay. I like to question people. That's a great, that's wonderful. That really is. Now, here's the thing. Do you think America, I'll put it this way. Let me put it this way. Russia went into Ukraine. For 8 years, Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, was asking the West to stop the genocide that was going on in an oblast called Donbass. Because what had happened in 2014, there was a coup d'etat led by a woman, an American woman, a Russophobe, who hated Russia, like all Americans hate Russians, believe it or not, and led a coup d'etat with the CIA and the MI6, which is us. So we were involved in that, to overthrow a chap by the name of Yanukovych, who was president, who was democratically elected to lead the country. And the Americans didn't like that because he just didn't favor Russia and trade. He also favored the EU and trade, well, globally, you want to trade with us? Trade with us. But they didn't like that. So they wanted to put a puppet in. A puppet that favored the West rather than favoring Russia. So after the coup d'etat, you had what you call Azovs. Azovs are Nazis, and they stem from World War II and Stepan Bandera, and are known as the Banderites, and the fully fledged Nazis. I've got to explain this because my question be coming up. My question be coming up. I just want to show you something first and foremost. Now, these are the Azovs. Where am I here? Fucking hell. Now look at their shields. Now that picture, there's a load, and I mean a load, not just two of them. There they are there. I don't think you can see what you're seeing on their shields is on those flags. And they're the Azovs, they're the Nazis, and they are celebrating the likes of Bandera, who are being executed for war crimes against humanity after the Second World War. For killing over 400,000 Jews, thousands upon thousands of Russians, well, Soviet citizens, thousands of disabled people, thousands of dissidents who were totally against what they were doing to human beings. They were executed also. So these people love Banderite, and it's been going on for years, but they couldn't do anything because they were under the Soviet Union, so they were always hidden, but still carrying on their ideology. As soon as Yanukovych was overthrown, they were made up because they hated Russians. So what did they do? Any Russian-speaking people were put to the sword. In other words, they were killed, they were murdered, they were shelled. And for 8 years, Putin was saying to the West, will you stop this? This is genocide. And if you don't want to, if you're not going to do anything, we'll have to do something. And he was saying this for 8 years. So we decided to go in because no one was helping these people who were being murdered nearly every single day. So we went in. And it wasn't war. You might think it's a war, but it wasn't. It was what you call a special military operation. That's what it is. SMO, as they call it. Special military operation. And it was to stop what was going on. And then the West got involved. They were saying, he wants to take all over Ukraine. No, he didn't. He just went into the oblasts. That people, Russian-speaking people, were being murdered. So he went in and he stopped it. But the Azovs and the West, with the West, giving them arms and everything else, Ukraine, was, well, they went to war with them. They went against, they went against everything that Russia was doing and they were trying to stop. So what does we do in the West? Here's what we did. We banned everything Russian. Everything Russian. Libraries. You couldn't go in and get War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. You couldn't go and see the Bolshoi Ballet because they went all around the world. The best ballet dancers in the world. They went around the world with the music of Tchaikovsky. Swan Lake, nothing better. They're the best ballet dancers in the world. They were banned. They couldn't go anywhere. Anything Russian All the arts, all the literature, everything Russian was banned. You couldn't get anything Russian. It was banned. They had a no-fly zone going to Russia. If you wanted to go to Russia, you couldn't go. You could get there, but you'd have to go halfway around the world to get there. So they stopped it. This is the EU. This is an undemocratic elected bureaucrats, every single one of them in the EU. Von der Leyen, who's the leader. Who put her there? I'll tell you who put her there. The World Economic Forum, the WEF, and BlackRock. Americans, all these oligarchs, all these billionaires, they put her in to keep an eye on each and every single one of European leaders. That's the likes of Prime Minister of England. That's like the President of Hungary. That's like everything, every Prime Minister and President of Europe, to keep an eye on them. Right? And who are the WEF? Well, they're a load of Americans. Now you have a leader. I'm coming up to my question in a moment. You're coming up to a leader, two leaders. One was Joe Biden. What did he do? There was the Chancellor Scholz. He was standing next to Biden in the White House. And a reporter said to Biden about the Nord Stream and, the energy coming into Europe. Now, the Nord Stream would belong to Russia. And he said, are you going to stop like it? And he said, how are you going to stop it? And there was a woman there, reporter. And Biden said, oh, it'll be stopped. We'll have means. We have means to stop it. And what happened? They blew it up. You had a fella named Sikorski of Poland, a minister in their government. And the very first thing that he put up, a minute after the Nord Stream was blown up, it's the most eco-catastrophe in history when that was blown up. No one said a fucking word. I was waiting for Greta Thunberg to say something. She never said nothing. Because she's always saying, these are fucking tree huggers. Greta Thunberg and her mates never said a word. Didn't say a word about fossil fuels or anything. The gas being blown up to destroy the ozone layer. So that was blown up by the Americans. Scholz didn't say a word. Nothing. And who did they blame at first? Russia. No, it's Russia. It was Russians. Russia owned it. Russia owned it, so why would they fucking blow up their own thing? But anyway, it's all been known that the Americans done it anyway. The Americans done it. The Nord Stream. Billions it cost. So, you have regime changes. You have regime changes more or less throughout the world. You've got Romania today. Now, there was a fellow by the name of Georgescu, killing Georgescu, who was going to win last May, hands down, to become president of Romania. So the elections were going on, and von der Leyen, the president of the EU, an unelected fucking body, an unelected fucking person, cancelled it. And then there was another fellow by the name of Simeoni. He said, well, I'm going to stand. Now this fella Simone, he was going to win the next day, and it would have taken 5 countries and all their votes to defeat him, and he was defeated the next day. How's that? To put this other fella in, because what those 2 fellas, Simone and Georgescu, said, we don't want to be giving money to Zelensky because he's corrupt. We'd rather look after our own people. This is Romania. This is last May. So they put a puppet in. And only today, Romania said, well, they put a puppet in anyway, so he's a puppet there. He's doing what the EU tell him and what America tells him. And what have they done today? Well, they've come out and said that America can use their air bases to go and bomb Iran. This is why they didn't want Georgescu or Simone to be leading, because they would just said no. Right? Now, here's my question. As I said, Russia's gone in to save Russian-speaking people, to save their lives. Nowhere else, because the West is saying, they want to take all Ukraine, and they're going to attack us. No, they're not. They don't want all Ukraine. They just want to save those. So they're in these oblasts now. They had a vote and everything, a referendum to see if they want to stay in Ukraine or be in the Russian Federation, and they voted overwhelmingly. Can't get it out. To be in the Russian Federation. To be in the Russian Federation. So now they're in the Russian Federation. The West is still against them. The West is still arming Ukraine. Well, it's been proved only the other day when a British Storm Shadow went deep into Russia. A British missile. Right? Okay, so that's that. Now, Russia has been banned, as I said, from everything, even in libraries, even in entertainment, the likes of the Bolshoi Ballet. And they've also been obliterated from sports. They can't go into any sports. None at all. Yes, America is allowed into the Olympics. They're playing in the World Cup. So my question is to you out there, should they have been banned alongside? Don't forget what I was saying about regime changes by the Americans all over the place. Don't forget what's happening in Iran. Right now, right this moment, people are being killed. Don't forget what's happening in the genocide in a little tiny place called the West Bank and Gaza. Should they be banned, America, from any sports? Even having it in America, the World Cup. Do you think they should be banned along with Russia, who hasn't been going around for regime changes and whatever, and killing millions of people? The only people that are dying is because of the people fighting them, and that's the Ukraine. And they decided, there was Britain who decided, with Biden's message, by the way, to Boris Johnson, don't let them sign that peace agreement. And that was in April 2022. And they decided against a peace agreement. That's why they're still at war today. Okay, so should they be banned? Yes or no? Simple as that. That's my question to you people out there. And Paulie says, who stands up for this bully and war-bent country? And that's America, obviously, isn't it, what Paulie's saying?
Well, there's two countries in partnership, isn't it?
Yes.
Both hell-bent on war.
And the Pat says, you answer the Pat. Iran boycotted the World Cup even though they qualified. FIFA is a joke. Okay. And Snapey says, you wouldn't like my dog, Frank. He's a hybrid of a pit bull terrier and Hannibal Lecter. They say they are a reflection of their owner. Highly protective, but
psychologically.
You wouldn't cocoa, would you? Pitbull. Anyway, Paulie says the tiny little country hasn't been going 100 years yet. It has no oil, isn't rich in minerals, yet has the best weapons, Air Force missiles, the Mossad, and is running the world. And Paulie carries on by saying the tail wagging the dog. I'm going to go right through these, Anthony. Johan I think Rapat is saying that the similarities between historical accounts of the fall of empires resembles this current fall of the American empire, and the elites will just move elsewhere. And well, that's what didn't I say that? I don't agree with the merit is carrying on, but I disagree with the merit. You know, with no matter how you look at it, America as an empire. Personally, I think the World Cup should be boycotted, says the Snape. And Bella says, canvas and scroll a canvas and scroll, a story told through modern ink and tales of old. Two friends on a screen, a perfect pair discussing all the brilliant, with brilliant flair. Thank you. Isn't that lovely?
Thank you, Bella.
I haven't got my I shouldn't have worn these glasses, but I can't wear my reading glasses. They kill me. I get a terrible headache. That's why I'll read that out again. I can't read properly, really. Canvas and scroll, a story told through modern ink and tales of old. Two friends on screen, a perfect pair, discussing all with brilliant flair. Isn't that brilliant?
That's beautiful.
That's good, given Paulie says that's a good giving gift, that Bella. That's it, it's lovely. And Paper Mate says, oh, Jesus Christ. I thought this was a history stream, of course it is. And now we're ranting about the WEF and the EU. Oh, I didn't think that the WEF isn't historical, to be honest. Paper Mate. I just didn't. Let me know if it's not historical. Let me know if they've just been put there, historically put there without you, me, him, any of the chatters, anyone in Europe voting them in. If that's not history, then I don't know what is. And Bella says, Buonanotte, Franco and Antonio, and everybody have a beautiful night. Thank you, Bella.
Good night, God bless, Bella.
Buonanotte. Buonanotte. And to clarify, I believe the empires we know have, in caps, and are in caps, delivering the greatest evils we have recorded. My theory was, do you think that their strategy is to do that and move on to repeat. Yeah, it's a washing machine. It's a washing machine, Rupert. And carries on by saying, maybe with a new one this century, yeah, Greater Ireland or something. Yeah, I know what you mean there, but that's what they want. That's what they want. That's a cracker, that. Because let me try and get this. I hope it goes up now. Nope. There's your Greater Israel. This is what they want. Oh, for fuck's sake. There you go. But it's going, that's just there now. And that's going to be moved over to South America. That's why they've gone into Venezuela. Argentina's already been collared. They're going to go into. But they want to own South America. Does the little lie. The part.
Shouldn't be allowed to own a library ticket.
And 2014, the BBC calling them Nazis. 2024, the BBC calling for your money and children to fight for them. Yeah, because back in 2019, they were called the most, I'm talking about Ukraine, the most corrupt country in Europe. And you've only got to look at, Zelensky and the money that he's stolen. He's bought homes everywhere. Homes everywhere. Where did he get the money for them? A great dad own. Papermate says, Johan, don't know what you're complaining about. We're living in historic times. And Lauren, good night, Billy. She's lovely here, isn't she? She's a little lovely. Yeah, Cedric. Hey, I've seen you today. Big up, legends, we're out. And Anthony with a thumbs up. Cedric. And Owen says, Bella, good night. Take care. Lovely.
Yeah.
I'm saying good night to her, but good night, Bella. Sweet dreams, says Pearlie. Johan, America kidnapped Maduro and assassinated the Ayatollah. Putin is a saint compared to the Yanks.
Yeah.
Lovely little Donna. She says, Frank, is there any point in me saying yes or no? It's up to you.
That's what. It's a family group.
It's up to you, Donna. No one's going to say, if you say no, they shouldn't be banned, or, no one's going to say anything. It's only a straightforward yes or no. Yes, they should be banned, or no, they shouldn't be banned. But what I've just said, about what America are doing, it's entirely up to you. And Lauren says, Frankie and Anthony, when are your birthdays so I can save them in my calendar? Well, my birthday is in May. And it's on May the 11th. I'm a Taurus. And Taurians are known for being stubborn. But Anthony's not giving his age away. And Johan says, aye. Yes. And I do think the US should be banned from sport, Frank, yes. Those in charge shall be held accountable and judged. Then their countrymen may participate again. That's a good crack at that.
That's a great, valid, and objective one. Rapath, yeah, wonderful.
I'm sorry, go on. I'm awfully sorry until you finished.
No, all of them.
And Rapath to Johan. Thank you, Johan. You summarised my words better than I could. Did I sit there and do it? That's lovely, that. Well done, lads. And Rapath to Johan. Thank you, Johan. You summarised my words better than I did. And actually, there we go. Frank, you'd love my dog. He's half English and half German. Jack Russell. Schnauzer. Cross. He's lovely unless he spots a rat. Then he goes nuts. I wouldn't mind. I don't like rats myself, but great bellies he's done. And Johan says, Tarachi, is your mum Scouse, perchance? I've always wondered why only communists, says Paulie, countries are banned from sport, Olympics and football. Why? America are the worst, but never are banned. No, they never get banned from anything. Johan says that, yes, my mum was born in Liverpool. I suppose that me and the dog are half-breeds. The Israeli soldiers are wearing badges with Greater Israel sewn on the uniform. Yes. Yes. And I heard they are going to South America, like you said. They already have their plans published to discuss the Abraham Accords to colonize the Middle East. Isaac Accords to colonize South America. Well, the thing is, the Isaac reports. See, what you've got, Rapath, is you've already got one in place now, and that's Mele of Argentina, because he's a little lad. You wouldn't think so, would you? But he is, he's a little lad. Mikado, she's a little lad as well. They've got it all planned. But I don't think the drug cartels will like it.
I don't know.
Hi to Frank, Ant and chat, says my old mate Steve Malolland.
Hiya, Steve.
Anthony. It's 10:15.
Time to catch up.
I have to apologise to the people, by the way, because I wanted to talk so much about a few things. Someone asked me about, Rodney Street.
Yeah.
And, someone asked me the other week as well about Rodney Street. Where did it get its name? And, well, it used to be called Bridges Street. And it was a sea captain, a Liverpool sea captain. And during the Napoleonic Wars, he went and he held back a fleet of French ships. He held them back. So they elevated him to a lord, so he had to take a name. And he took Rodney, Lord Rodney. And that's where the street's named after, Rodney Street. But, a naval hero holds him back, the French. Your lot, Antoine. Monsieur Antoine, as Johan calls you. And the pastor, his little hat's big trouble. You wouldn't go. Boris and Starmer are little hats, I believe, says Rapan. I don't know about Starmer, but, Boris, yes.
Is a little something that rhymes with hat.
And the Snape says, nice all. Nice day.
Nice, Snapey.
And Donna says, Frank, my dogs haven't barked all night. So they are looking forward to hearing from you soon.
There you go. Saving it all up, Frank.
And Lauren says, okay, Frankie, I saved the 11th of May in my calendar. But little Max.
Good girl. Mine is the hardest one to remember ever. I forget. It's on the 1st of January. New year, new start.
New year, you start, yeah. It's like the darkling thrush, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it's that stage every year, yeah. Yeah.
I got it here. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is, unfortunately. I don't know where it is. If I would have had it, I would have read it out. Because I think it's one of the greatest poems ever written. The Darkling Thrush.
Yes.
I can't bloody find it. I've always had my books here around me. But once I put them away, fucking hell. Do you know what? I'll tell you what I will do. Not now, but for the next time, Anthony.
Yeah.
I'll look for how he describes Fagin.
Yes.
I'll read it out. It's brilliant,
Yeah.
I'll read it out. Can I ask the people here? The Pat says, Anthony, little something that rhymes with hat.
There you go. Which is Boris. Boris is a...
Don't. Once again, Frank Carlyle and chat, thank you for your company. Good night.
Oh, and thank you for your company.
Do you want me to, and Anthony, to do, and I mean this, no football, no nothing, just history, and a little bit of that what I want to read out, it's only a tiny bit, and the Darkling Thrush tomorrow night. Let me know, just one yes, let me know, or a no. Just let me know, people, please. Just let me know. Tomorrow night. Would you be willing tomorrow night, Anthony?
Yes, Frank.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Johan. Look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, I know. Oh, Lauren's going. Lauren says, my birthday is on the 22nd of November. Have you got any idea what the 22nd of November conjures up, Anthony?
Well, in that very month, conjures up the biggest ever propaganda episode in British history,
Go on.
which is, of course, the commemorated by the name of a totally innocent man, Guy Fawkes Night.
Well, that was the 5th of November.
Yeah,
The 22nd of November is the assassination of JFK.
no, I didn't know that.
The 22nd of November, 1963.
Didn't like.
That's lovely Lauren's birthday.
Wow.
And Johan says, thank you, Frank and Monsieur Antoine. Great show tonight. I don't know if you've seen it, but I sent you it regarding the project. Take it. No, I'll have a look when I get in. When I get in. Have a good night, everyone, and stay safe. Yes. Good night, Johan, says Lauren. Lauren Bianchi. Me Poco. I'm going to bed in a few minutes, says Paulie. So, thanks, Anthony and Frank, for an entertaining evening and a good night chat. That's nice.
Good night.
And Johan to Lauren. Good night, Lauren. Lauren. Good night, Paulie. Yes.
Nice fun.
Stephen. Yeah, just history and no other. No, I'm telling you now. Because Donna was going on about dogs. You know, she wanted me to talk about dogs, the breeds of dogs. And little Lauren was saying, can you do a program or, can you do a stream or a show about knitting and embroidery? Because Anthony is a great embroiderer. And he said, yeah. So I just said, would you rather have history stay, and everyone's saying, yeah. And Paulie says, yes, and good night, Vienna. Donna. Yes. And that she says, Masonic symbol, yeah, 2011, yeah, 2211. No one says, Jesus Christ, Lauren is Mossad. And our little Lauren. And the Pat. What a pivotal point in history, the 22nd of November. Would love to get both your takes on Guy Fawkes. I've done it. I've done it. Haven't I, Andy?
We have, but we dip in because the background of the story, which is what we love to talk about with Path, is devised similarly to what's going on at the moment in modern history by a group of script writers who give you a false story that we all unfortunately believe because there's no evidence of real truth. And that is what the background to that is.
You see, Rapat, Shakespeare, think about this. Think about what Shakespeare said. And it's in Macbeth's tragedy speech. And he said, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life is but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And that's about the gunpowder plotters. It's a tale told by an idiot. Now, a tale is a story, so he's made up a story full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And that was Robert, Anthony.
Robert Cecil.
There you go.
Idiot.
Go on, carry on.
Come circus leader.
Absolutely, he was the circus leader. He was the ringmaster. And where it says, out, brief candle, life is but a walking shadow. Your life is like a, just blow it out, the candle, out, it's gone, extinguished. That's your life. And that was the plotters' lives. So the walking shadow is, you've heard of the saying, haven't you? Oh, he's walking in the shadows. He's in the shadows. And that's the spy spying on you. The shadows, because there was a spy against, infiltrating rather, the plotters. So you see, I've lighted fools. Now watch, when you get the image of Guy Fawkes, you see him in a cellar with 36 barrels of gunpowder behind him, with a lamp in one hand and a torch in the other. A lamp and a torch. The torch was to set fire to the thing and blow Parliament up. Lighted fools the way to dusty death, because when they got collared, they were face down and the dust would be blowing up, going to their execution. Lighted fools the way to dusty death. And that's what it's all about, these plotters, because it was a government subplot led by the ringmaster. Who was it, Anthony?
Robert Cecil.
There you go. Robert Cecil, the most powerful man in England at the time.
From Paris.
I love this. Look at this one here. Listen to this. What a pivotal point in this. The 22nd of November. Would love to get your both takes on Guy Fawkes, like Anthony began to. Good night and thanks for tonight. Thanks, Johan, for the assists. Lovely. Cheers there, Pat. We did one last November, says Johan.
We did.
And Donna said, oh God, Frank, knitted dogs. And I think we need to recycle our shows every 6 months for our. I agree there, Johan. I really do. That's a very good point. That's brilliant, though. Don't forget Max Brunch has done it.
I'm starving again now.
And the fat says, a tale told by an idiot. I can imagine as we see them spin tales in front of our eyes. Self-defense, lone gunman, religious extremist, isolated incident, natural disaster, double-barreled bullet, BS.
Yeah.
That's a great... Jesus.
That's a wonder of history, because and it's mind-blowing. But there will always be a Robert Cecil in every generation. There's one now, and we've just got rid of one in England.
I'll tell you something. that path. When, you see, Robert Cecil, he was the only one who could take the confessions of these so-called plotters, right? Plotters. He had no other scribe doing anything like that. It was only him. And when they went to court, he banned all scribes, every scribe. So the transaction that you read of that trial is false because it was Cecil who was writing it. But he forgot one man who was actually in the court. And that was William Shakespeare. And William Shakespeare, as I said, see, the actual tragic speech, it turns off like my queen, the queen is dead. And he said she should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in the petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And what he was saying there, that Queen Elizabeth should have died before. You know, this is what he was saying. She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Meaning, you know, what's going to happen tomorrow. And it's about the gunpowder plotters. All lies, falsehoods, governmental subplot. That's it, Red Pat. And Lauren there says, Tony and Max. She's saying little Max as well. And Rapat, CEO, agreed about recycling. And Frank and Anthony are willing, to be honest, whatever you want to educate us on, fellas, I'm here for it. Robert Cecil was that Anthony. Robert Cecil was that Anthony. I'll do my own. Yeah, it's Cecil spelled with it's Cecil, Robert Cecil.
Yeah. And he took the role from his father, who too was a spin doctor and worse.
And they took over Walsingham, who was another spin doctor.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll show you something, Pat, before you go. Let me show you something before you go. I think you'll like this. I think you will. I hope so. We got us here. Yeah, in fact, you're going to enjoy this, mate, what I'm going to show you. And you're going to go, all right. Can I take you off a minute, Anthony?
Of course, Nick.
He's going to love this. Won't be a minute, Anthony. And I've done loads of lectures on that, haven't I, Anthony?
You have. The questions posed by history.
I'll tell you what I'll do with you, Rapath. If Liverpool are not playing next Monday, I'll do the gunpowder plot for you. Okay? Yo, Rapat, Cecil, that's it. And Rapat says, I was hoping someone would spell it as I couldn't get the results. Cecil Spymaster, he's noted as well. Yep. And the Pat says, that can't be real, Frank. He said back in them days. Back in them days. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you. It wasn't transgender. Well, it could have been, really, like, but.
Yeah.
Cheers, legends, and don't forget Spain is in the southwest. Yeah, fuck off. I can't believe it, honest. It's not in the west, it's southwest Europe. Can't believe it, can you? Fucking hell. And the Pat says, Monday, I'm in. Thank you very much. Both too kind. Thank you, the Pat.
Thank you, Rapath. Thank you, everyone.
It's been good, Anthony.
Yeah.
Aren't they brilliant?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Them fucking comments there tonight. Brilliant. I love you all. Can I give you a quick ring?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
You're going to answer me?
Yep. Phone's with me somewhere. You put your Twitter in and give us a ring.
Yeah, I'm going to make a cup of tea. Because our Jason wasn't here tonight, was he? To stop us, for a break.
No. Well, that's okay. We got through.
Okay. Great. And I'll give Donna a ring tomorrow. Little Johnny. And if that dog barks, I'm going to wrap that cord around your neck. Well, not your neck, the dog's neck. I was going to show you something on the, on the map, but I'll have to be. I'll have a quick one tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Show her the map. You're going to like it, what I'm going to show you, And the Archie says, love you, lads. Thanks, Archie.
You too, Archie.
Thank you.
We love all of you.
Oh, little Lauren, last year in 11, I studied Elizabethan England at GCSE, and I remember learning about William Cecil. Yeah, that was the dad.
Yeah.
That was the dad, Lauren. You might enjoy it next week, actually, next Monday, if you're up for it, about the gunpowder plot. Because he'll get mentions, William, and his son, Robert, and also Walsingham, because those three ran England. And on that wonderful note, thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Archie, Repat, Johan, Paulie, you named them, everyone. Mila Grati, Little Johnny, and the laughing dog.
And the wonderful poetry from Bella.
Yes. I'll be there, Frankie, says little Lauren.
Oh.
She'll be doing her A-levels now, won't she? She's lovely, that girl. Brilliant night. Thanks, legend, says the little Johnny.
Thank you, Donna. Have a good night.
And Lauren says, good night, family.
That's what it's about. That's what we'd like it to be about.
Isn't that lovely? Aren't these lovely people?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, they're fucking educated. Aren't they? They're educated.
Yeah.
Little Donna's laughing at me, look. Because of the dog. It doesn't bark now, Frank. You can call me anytime.
Oh.
And the press says, brilliant, thank you both. Good night, all. Good night, Rapat.
Cheers, Rapat. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Do you know who wasn't on tonight? Toscana.
No. Probably recovering from the bad night last night.
Forgot about that. Our poor Michelle, she went over there. You know, Bella's daughter. But her brother's like, to look after on the
Wow.
way to Turkey.
Wow.
I'm going to go in, make myself a cup of you know what, sit down and call you.
Give us a bell.
How's our Laney anyway? She all right? I haven't heard from her.
She good. She had it today because Wednesdays are
Mad
she
days, yeah.
yeah. So we've been up since 5, 6, and yeah. So she'll be done in now. Um, yeah.
She's lovely. Oh, Johan said, Toscana said hi, but didn't comment after. I'll go away. Never seen it. Did I?
Uh,
Yo,
it's nice she was there.
just imagine. I can't believe this. There's a man there, Johan, on the foothills of Everest in K9 in freezing temperatures with shapers all around him, keeping him warm. You know what I mean? With a little fire, a little campfire. And
Yeah.
those tents, and the wind's blowing.
Yeah.
And Yetis all around him, big Yetis.
Yeah. And
And he said, Toscana says hi, but didn't comment after.
now he's got to find a plug. Phone up.
How's the Yeti getting on? Because imagine him coming on and going, these Yetis are a nuisance, boys. Thank you, Johan. Thank you, Ripper. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Lord. Everyone, thank you so much. And see you tomorrow night, hopefully. And definitely, Ripper, we'll do, if I can't see Liverpool playing next Monday. So we'll do that. Maybe Monday or Tuesday anyway. So is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you, Anthony?
That's brilliant with me, Frank. Yep.
And that's the gunpowder plot for next Monday.
Yep.
And tomorrow night it'll be, God knows, we'll go off on tangents again. Thanks, boys and girls. Anthony, we've got to thank services for everything, for sponsoring all the podcasts. Thank you, boys. Don't forget, if you're elderly or an NHS worker, get them in. You get a very special discount. Please get them in. The sponsors of all the podcasts. And we've got to thank Jason for setting everything up.
Always.
With us tonight. Am I right, Anthony?
Absolutely, Frank. Is up.
But is we thank more than anything, Anthony?
Oh, we say the biggest thank you to our wonderful chat family from Johan, Lauren, Bella, Toscana, everyone. The lads, Paulie, everyone. I can't name you all.
Lauren, little Johnny. And Johan says, loved your people will go anywhere to find a signal, Monsieur Antoine. Johan, I've got something, mate. And if you ever send your address or if you ever come home, I'll give you this. And this will open your eyes.
Now that's a subject we've not really devoted a night to, isn't it? We should do it.
Do you want to do that? Shall we dedicate a night to it? That's yours, Johan. That's yours. And I'll explain how I got hold of it. And it's why they sank the Titanic. Why they sank her. You can have it off me. And on that note, Monsieur Antoine.
Messi.
Listen to what the Yeti's saying now. Look, you've been teasing that DVD for months now, Frank. Well, it's yours, Johan. That's a promise. It's yours, definitely. And actually, I know loads on the Titanic, Frank. I'm from Southampton. And your man's a Scouser. We know loads as well. But anyway, on that note, thank you so much. And both Anthony and myself will see you tomorrow. Is that okay?
That's fantastic. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. And as he says, it was the Olympic they sank. Says Archie. Okay, see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, people. Thank you. Give it a call in a moment, okay, Anthony?